Was Roman Reigns versus The Rock teased at Survivor Series? Tony Khan has slammed WWE for their mass releases. And is an AEW star about to sign a major MMA fight? Find out in a bit. So we're kicking things off with the idea that maybe last night Roman Reigns versus The Rock was teased for the very first time at Survivor Series, a show themed kind of about The Rock. It's The Rock's 25th birthday in wrestling. His 25th anniversary, that's the word, Sam. And, you know, they had the Battle Royal. They were really plugging it. He's in the opening. It's all cut to his trailer, and he just doesn't show up.
Yes. Have you heard of Red Notice, Sam?
I thought it came out years ago.
It's a hip-hop and happening thing on Netflix.
I heard the name and I was like, didn't I see that in like 2003? So yeah. I don't know.
But I love this little detail from Survivor Series 2021 because we are harking back to the days of the gobbledygooker. And is it Undertaker in the egg? Is it Undertaker dressed as Eggman in his gimmick that nearly was? Or was it
just another Guerrero, just really packed in there.
But Vince McMahon rocks up to Survivor Series 2021 with this lovely, this diamond encrusted, this lovely sculptured thing with details on, this lovely golden egg.
Fabergé style, yeah.
He gets out of his big Hummer limo thing, he flashes the egg in front of the superstars. The superstars don't make a noise. Vince McMahon goes, come on now, damn it, make a noise. They all go, woo, it's a golden egg. Yeah. Everyone goes radio rental. We go to the next scene. The next scene sees Roman Reigns in Vince McMahon's office. Vince McMahon's like, look at this $100 million golden egg. It's not the replica that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's using in Red Notice on Netflix right now. It's the real $100 million thing given to me by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And then Roman Reigns is like, aye, that's the value of my next contract, pal. And he buggers off. Then, later on the night, we have a meeting with Vince McMahon in the same office with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. And you notice in the back of the shot, the case that had the golden Cleopatra's egg in it. It's not got the egg in anymore.
Oh, no.
Vince McMahon notices. He says to Sonya and Adam, who could have taken this egg? Could it have been the peasants in Brooklyn, a stagehand? These production people backstage, they're all thieves, damn it, thieves. And Adam Pearce goes, could it be one of our superstars, Vince? It could be one of our superstars. And Vince McMahon goes, yeah, you're right, Adam Pearce. Interview them all, one by one. So we're going to find out on Raw potentially who has stolen the egg, but because Roman Reigns was in the office with Vince McMahon for that first segment, it's heavily implied that Roman stole the egg and Rock will come back to get Cleopatra's egg back, and that'll be the thread tying together a lovely WrestleMania match between Reigns and Rock.
$7 Productions just really needs their prop back, guys. That's all. But essentially, yeah, this is the first time. It's something that's been teased and teased and teased. And of course, you know, the idea that Roman Reigns is, you know, the head of the table and he brags about being the biggest earner in his family. And he's the guy that puts food on the Usos' table and all of his family's table, no matter who they are. He gets them all their stuff. He makes sure they're all looked after. Really, we all know that's The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Most famous man on earth. So this has been something that I think everybody's went, well, that'll be the end of Roman as a heel, right? Will be lose to The Rock, disappear for a long time, return as a face. But this is it. This could potentially be, you know, tinfoil hats on firmly, you know, really, really taped on there. This could be the first tease of this, or it turns out it was Hornswoggle. One of the two.
don't even put that into the universe, Sam, for goodness sake.
On the topic of Roman Reigns, Mariah Carey has acknowledged Roman Reigns as the head of the table. Reigns appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon earlier this week and recorded a story about embarrassing his daughter on the school run. He said, we're pulling up, I'm dropping her off at school, and as soon as we pull up, I just crank, all I want for Christmas is you. I turn down to tell her I love her and goodbye, and then as soon as she opens the door, I just crank it up. And then a clip of Roman Reigns telling the story was tweeted at Mariah Carey, along with the idea of him and the Usos singing on SmackDown to her music. And she said, would love to see it. So Vince, get out there with your monster heels. Make them sing All I Want for Christmas Is You, for the love of God.
Make them wear little dresses as well.
Mariah Carey potentially appearing on WWE, though. That's surely happened before and will happen again.
She loves Christmas, doesn't she? As soon as Halloween was out the way, Christmas on Mariah Carey's Twitter.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jack was saying this, and this has been happening more and more. You'll get lulled into a Mariah Carey countdown in the UK where she's presenting on a radio channel, music video channel, and she'll be like, "Here we go, coming up at number 1, it's my Christmas classic," and then the one she released like 2 years ago, and she doesn't even do it anymore. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so interesting little thing there. Maybe we'll see Mariah Carey before Christmas. Who knows?
We need to put a call to action out there in the universe now. So if you're watching this video and you go to Roman Reigns' daughter's school and you see Roman Reigns pulling up with his daughter in the car, please videotape. Not if you're a parent. That'd be. If you're a kid who's in Roman Reigns' kid's school, videotape Roman Reigns' car just in case he does something like this once again. Because we need video evidence.
I'm just going to get out there legally and say we are not condoning this. We are not encouraging you to do this for the love of God. But on the other side of the fence, Tony Khan has been talking about WWE and their recent spate of releases. He was appearing on Busted Open Radio when he said, anyone who signs a contract in WWE these days is not signing a real contract. It's a temporary arrangement. It's printed on a cheese slice. People who come... Vince is just like, what contract?
Just those dissolvable underwear.
People who come wrestle with me, a lot of these people are frankly lifers, and they know that. There's a lot more security with contracts here. I can't say I'm going to extend every contract or bring every person back. Can't read this morning. But I also haven't been doing mass layoffs. I'm not the most profitable company of all time. I don't brag about being the most profitable company of all time. I do brag about bringing in a lot of revenue for a startup and being a real success story. What I will brag about is we haven't been doing mass layoffs, and we haven't fired 15 people last week or 18 people the week before that. It's not something to be proud of when a company lets all those people go and you're putting press releases out like that frequently. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't want to make light of that kind of thing ever. And he's right.
It's a lovely sentiment from Tony Khan.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of the word yet when he's saying I haven't done mass layoffs.
Well, this is it. It's like, right, anything Tony Khan says is going to be scrutinised for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the same reason we're still talking about Montreal. It's the same reason we're still talking about Monday Night Wars. Or why was Eric Bischoff smirking in that promo on like July 4th, 1996? Like, did he know this like a week earlier than we think he did? All this kind of stuff. That's the kind of the magnifying glass Tony's under. So this, if there's ever a situation in which AEW is forced to release talent, then this is something that will come back. But at the same time, he is right in the way that it does feel now. If you sign with WWE, it's not what it used to be. Sign with WWE back when we were kids. It was like, they're on WWE, they'll be with WWE for the rest of their careers. And that was just sort of how...
I don't think it was that, because you think of someone like Mr. Perfect. I think I saw, I've read somewhere, his entire WWE run altogether was like 4 years cumulatively. So it was always like you come in for a programme, you do your programme, then your programme's done and you're gone. That's where it's changed today, because obviously you get Hit Row, for example, just debut on SmackDown, and then B-Fab's gone 1 week later, and then 2 weeks after that, the rest of them are gone. It's really, really weird. But I just hope, obviously AEW's roster is becoming a lot more bloated as more releases happen in WWE, and just in general, people in the wrestling world, like Danhausen, for example, you assume he'd go there as people that rise up. So hopefully, and again, we're sat here on the outside not knowing what sort of contracts AEW are giving out.
Exactly.
So he could be speaking the truth for all we know. I know nothing. What am I doing here? I've got a clue.
Baseless speculation.
I just don't want Tony Khan to be throwing these big barbs WWE's way and then for it down the line to be biting them back on the arse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And AEW have done a very good job so far of being that antithesis, and I hope they continue to do that. If WWE goes left, I hope they go right, and I hope it just continues on that path.
Yeah.
So we have like an interesting lay of the land, and it's not just two big companies buddying up and keeping everybody else down, which is what it felt like with that one company in charge for so long. But just to look at the independents, and a little bit of an interesting note, because we kind of touched on Mr. Perfect there. We're going back a bit, go back to the 90s. The first entrants into GCW's Hall of Fame, or Indie Hall of Fame, have been announced. So Homicide and Jerry Lynn have been announced as the first inductees. The two will be added to the newly created Hall of Fame on January 22nd, 2022, an event at Cussing Room in New York City. Sean Waltman has been announced as the inductor for Lynn, while Chris Dickinson Jason will induct Homicide. Tickets for the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony and gala go on sale Monday, November 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So that's today, but I mean, 10 a.m. America.
Yeah. On the part of the America.
on the New York side. Yeah. The bit that's closest to the UK. But, two of the biggest independent stars of the late 90s, early 2000s, this is just... GCW are kind of, rising and rising and rising as a major player on the independent scene, so this makes sense. And it's nice to have alternate Hall of Fames, isn't it?
Big time. It's must-see viewing every single time GCW hold a big pay-per-view. I think about the work with Moxley and Nick Gage and stuff like that. But it's obviously not to discredit Homicide's wrestling ability by any stretch of the imagination, but it's two very different shades there with Jerry Lynn and Homicide going into a Hall of Fame.
It shows that kind of diversity of this Hall of Fame, right? Because independent wrestling is such a broad thing that you are going to have, it might be somebody who's like immaculate Bret Hart style worker, and then somebody like a Danhausen, where it's just you'll have that kind of clash, and I like that.
Yeah.
And finally. Is Jake Hager about to sign a deal for a major MMA fight? Now, John Jones on Twitter tweeted out, breaking news! 2 exclamation points, which is why I shouted that there for you. I'm excited to announce I'll be competing for the #1 grappling organization in the world, Fury Grappling. December 9th, I'll be in New Jersey competing against WWE superstar and undefeated Bellator heavyweight Jack Swagger. And what did Swagger have to say to that, considering he's not called Swagger anymore?
No, he's not. He's called Hager. No, he didn't say that. He said, first of all, it's AEW, you winky, and undefeated Bellator heavyweight Jake Hager. Secondly, no terms have been discussed or contract signed. Can we talk? We can talk if the terms are right.
So,
it might happen, but it might not happen.
It might not happen. It might happen. It might already be signed and this is just billed, but at the same time, interesting. And I like that Jake Hager's possibly still going to be able to, go off, do some major MMA stuff, come back. It's only going to be good for AEW, I feel.
Well, yeah. Unless, because I saw this thing go down over the weekend, and I saw a lot of people who know about the MMA saying Jake Hager will get his block knocked off.
That's the only thing is, it's the brawl for all situation, right? Like if you knock out somebody who's supposed to be like an enforcer or a tough guy, and they get knocked out catastrophically, like first step, boom, gone out. Does that affect how they look? And can it be played off on TV in a way where they're not going to look weak? Times have changed a lot.
Well, I guess does CM Punk maybe prove that wrong? I don't know. Nobody gives a toss, do
Nobody
they?
really cares. So it's two separate spheres. So maybe it'll be fine. But at the same time, getting Hager out there, all the press that's going to come with it, and doing MMA and maybe breaking like some news or doing whatever, AEW is going to be all over that. Yeah. So.
I just hope that Jake Hager hasn't burned all of the bridges with America's top team, so he can go and use their training things and get really good at the MMA and spark John Jones out. Go on, the wrestling.
That is it for today's news, but before we go, we've got to remind you that at 1 p.m. GMT, that's UK time, 1 p.m, we're going to be going live with the first ever Cultaholic live review, and it's going to be for Survivor Series 2021 from last night. We've got Tom, we've got Andrew, we've got grades, we've got prizes, we've got a shiny new set, we've got all sorts of stuff going on. It's just, I don't know what's happening. The times they are changing.
I do. It's called Cultaholic Live. It's 1 p.m. GMT on twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Later on, WTF moments from Survivor Series. What happened at Survivor Series? Already on the channel. Adam Paci's live stream on the channel as well. If you want to go back and check out his reactions in his lovely blue jacket. Team SmackDown for the win. And you'll find out tomorrow night, Tuesday night, in the evening time, because that's when night time happens, Ross, you silly goose, who won between the Toon Squad and Met Row, because of course there was a few matches that were added after we did predictions. So me and Andrew representing our teams, because we don't have a couch big enough to fit 8 people, make some calls on the fly.
Well, that's been it for your daily news. Might have another video in a bit if there's anything more breaks. Stay safe. See you soon.
Love you, bye. Oh.